as pre-stream
Coming back to what Lyric said from earlier about your search results, I had something interesting about this. I don't know if it's still the case. Lyric, if you could Google it quick. If you Google mob and you go to images, it, instead of showing you, right now with our political climate, right, what would you expect for a mob? A bunch of people protesting, right? Because depending on whatever side of the aisle, whatever group is protesting, or is, even if it's peacefully, the other side's gonna say, well, they're a mob,
Yeah, it's still up actually.
It's still okay. So let me pull this up. This is crazy. When you Google mob, all of the results are in anime. And it's not even like, okay, maybe some of them are in anime and some are of like a mob. And even the recommended, if you go to the top, can you go to the top again really quick? If you look at this recommended, all of these, none of these are like, oh, did you mean maybe a mob? Yeah, there's an angry mob. But again, that's not, I clicked on that. It's not like a political one. Look, they're just like the Simpsons.
It's just, it's Shutterstock photos.
It's crazy that basically. Like, and until I saw this the other day, my thought process was when I Google something, I'm gonna get like the accurate results. Google's not biased, right? Google just goes out there and whatever their search engine optimization ranking, like, more people click on this, let's maybe show it higher, right? They very clearly are purposely censoring that, because you can't tell me that Googling mob in today's climate
versus uncensored.
Today's mob.
Can we all agree that Mob Psycho is amazing?
But it's just crazy to me that like they are actively censoring certain terms or images, and that makes me think like, what else are they choosing to show me or not show me, right? Like the browser that I go to Google things, like for the most part, but like there is that.
Back to like, who can we trust, dude? If we can't trust Google,
I can't trust anyone.
Google's become this force where like, oh, I don't know something. Well, Google it. You know, you just Google it to figure it out.
Little kids grow up knowing what Google it means.
If it's become a verb, right? It's literally become a verb. We've created the term Google it. Like that's an actual term that we use today. And I'm sure like kids, like when I was growing up, we didn't have what's called technology class. Like I was mind blown when I went over my aunt's house, and my little cousins are like, we were just in technology class. I was like, what? They're teaching you about technology. Well, that's great. First of all, they're teaching you about technology, but like I didn't have that growing up. And like, how can you teach about technology when technology like Google, like big tech companies like Google, can't even really be trusted, right? Like, so who decides who is right and who's factual? And like, how can we know that Google is telling the truth on what we're searching, especially if it's a controversial subject, like politics, right? How can I be so sure if I Google search election fraud, I can get a search result that says 100% 2020 elections fraudulent, and then I can get another one that says somebody else can get a
100%
one that
it's
says,
true.
And you get another one that says it's not, and it's the most secure election in the history of the world.
The whole thing is that, like you and me, right? We could go in and click and read the results and figure, and and make our own opinion, finally sifting through and finding the facts, right? But your average person, right? Your average 30, 40-year-old who, has a Twitter account with like 2 followers and is like constantly typing in all caps about which, like, I'm riding with Biden or Trump 2020 or like whatever. They're just spamming their capital, When they Google, is the election a fraud? It's going to be like, well, this person, they, Googled this or they Googled this, show them, possibly different results, and they click, or they, searching Twitter, and then they get this reinforced. They're not going to go do their own research. People, and the majority of people, they don't like being challenged.
Documentary, that is also what that documentary talks about too, is that the search platforms and these social media platforms, they create a virtual you, essentially, that's like it predicts what you're gonna like and what you're more likely to click on, and that brings you back to revenue and brings you back to ads and stuff like that. So until I really think that there should be a trustful source, I think we need an emerging new I don't know, like search engine. I don't know if search engine would be, I don't think anything would be able to stand up to Google, but we need something that we can rely on that gives us unbiased reports and gives us the direct facts of what we search for.
The only problem is, like, how do you guarantee that whatever company is making it and running it is going to be, no matter how, no matter how you feel about Trump, whether you love him, whether you hate him, what I'd consider maybe an objective fact is that through maybe not even him, but let's just say recent politics. I'm not even going to like specifically Trump, just recent politics in general. As far as from my perspective or people that I've talked to or seen online, it has just further grown distrust of even our own government.
Yeah.
Right? People on both sides don't really trust the government anymore. And that's a big problem. You can't trust Google. You can't trust Facebook. You can't trust Twitter. You can't even trust your own government. I can't trust myself. How do I know right now that my thought right now is not a thought that AT&T wanted me to have?
You literally don't, dude. That's the thing. You conspiracy. The 5G. I was kayaking yesterday and we passed the 5G tower and I was like, look, it's one of those COVID towers.
But you laugh, but 24 towers were burned in the UK, were broken down.
Dude, right?
The majority of them were 4G towers, though.
Dude, it's crazy to me that you can even persuade somebody to do that, and that's just the power of social media. And that was why, like, when you talk about like disinformation on social media, it's just like you got to bring up like foreign meddling in elections and stuff like that. Like, there's thousands and millions of like bots like pushing propaganda that people eat up. Dude. They eat it up. It's crazy. And like, it's, if you think about it, like ignoring all of the side effects from it and how bad it is, fucking genius. It's so smart.
Oh, these social media companies are rolling in money. It's incredible how much money, and selling the data of people, right?
Oh my god, dude.
Like, it was some meme and it was like, I'm fine with people stealing my data, like my life's data and my personal information, as long as it's an American company. It's like, as soon as like TikTok, it was like, oh, they're stealing our information. It's like, dude, look at Facebook and Twitter. They're doing the exact same thing.
Same thing. And like, it's the fact that it's coming from overseas and stuff. But I will say, I'm very happy that TikTok stuck around. I feel like derailing the disinformation track that we're on, TikTok is a phenomenal social media platform that revolutionized, I feel like, how every social media platform should be ran. Very happy that it stayed around. As cringe as everybody hates on it and memes on it, it is a fantastic platform.
Well, you gotta look,
also,
people.
I really have to pee, so like, we should take an intermission soon.
Okay. Yeah, we can take an intermission.
Wait, we didn't plan for an intermission.